Hey, it's Alex from Android Central, and this is the Galaxy Note 8 and Galaxy Note 9. Or is it the Galaxy Note 9 and Galaxy Note 8? Pretty sure this one's the Note 9, or maybe that's the Note 8 as well? Okay, you get the idea. From the front, it's almost impossible to tell the all-new, all-powerful Note 9 from its immediate predecessor. If you're looking for a radically new design in a Samsung phone, then you'll have to wait until next year. But that's actually not such a big deal, because Samsung didn't need to completely reinvent the look of the Note, and almost everything that makes the Note 9 new and interesting lives on the inside anyway. As much as these phones do look damn near identical, there are actually some size differences to behold. The new Note screen is slightly bigger with a 6.4-inch diagonal, up from 6.3 last year, and as a result the Note 9 is ever so slightly larger in all dimensions, though this is barely noticeable in person. Of course, the new Note also has more computational oomph at its disposal, with a Snapdragon 845 processor in the US compared to last year's 835. Base RAM stays at 6GB, but your base storage jumps up to a roomy 128GB. And if you want to blow a ton of money for the very best Samsung has to offer in 2018, the new Note also comes in a crazy high-end variant with 8GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. Plus, you still have that SD slot if somehow a ½ TB of internal space isn't enough. The spec bump I think I'll appreciate the most, however, is the Note 9's plus-sized battery. With a 3300mAh cell, battery life on the Note 8 was just okay most of the time. Under heavier use, it could be borderline disappointing. But with a significantly upgraded 4000mAh capacity, the Note 9 should be able to go much longer between refills. Samsung is advertising it as an all-day phone no matter how much you use. You of course have the same fast charging and wireless charging options as before too. Just as important, Samsung has taken the opportunity to reinvent the S Pen, the tentpole feature that makes a Note a Note. It's now Bluetooth connected, powered by a tiny supercapacitor battery that lasts half an hour on standby, and charges while docked in the phone in 40 seconds. In addition to doing all the usual stylus things that we're accustomed to in a Note, the S Pen now acts as kind of a remote control for the Note 9. For example, in the camera app you can use it as a remote shutter button or to switch between cameras. Plus, even if that supercapacitor runs out of juice for the remote control features, you can still use it as a regular S Pen. There's a lot more that Samsung's doing with the remote control S Pen in software, like the ability to click through presentation slides or tap through photos in the Gallery app. We'll have a deep dive in our full review, but suffice to say these new remote control features are by far the biggest upgrade to the software, which otherwise is more or less identical to what's currently on the Note 8. The Note 9 does run the newer Android 8.1 Oreo though, a bump up from the Note 8 which is currently on 8.0. Who knows when either model will be upgraded to the new Android 9 Pie? Based on Samsung's track record, don't hold your breath. The single easiest way to tell a Note 8 from a Note 9 is to simply look around the back. The ridiculous horizontal fingerprint scanner placement of last year's phone has been replaced with a much more reasonable design. It's still quite far up the back of the phone, but it's much more central and far easier to reach as a result. In terms of camera hardware, the Note 9 basically has the same dual 12MP setup of the Galaxy S9 Plus, which itself isn't a huge upgrade from the twin cameras of the Note 8. The biggest differences there are slow motion video support at 960 frames per second and improved performance in low light thanks to the f1.5 variable aperture. The biggest camera improvements from Note 8 to Note 9 have to do with the new AI camera features. Samsung's jumped on the AI camera bandwagon with intelligent scene detection for 20 different scene types, everything from food to landscapes, portraits, flowers, animals. Like other AI cameras, it then adjusts exposure, white balance, shutter speed and other settings to hopefully give you the best shot. The camera also has a new feature called flaw detection to point out photographic pitfalls like backlighting, blinking in portrait shots and the like. That's all stuff that you won't find on the Note 8. So image quality may be pretty close most of the time, but the bigger difference between the cameras of these two phones is the feature set. Of course, you'll see a much bigger difference in image quality if you're coming from something like an S7 or even a Note 5. So bottom line, externally you're not going to see much of a difference between the Note 8 and Note 9. The more important upgrades live on the inside. Mainly a much bigger battery, a much more feature-rich S Pen, and new AI camera features that build on the S9 Plus's proven dual camera setup. Oh yeah, and a rear fingerprint scanner you can actually reach this time. It's a substantial upgrade year over year, if not a massively exciting one, but stick around for our full review coming soon where we'll go into a lot more depth of what the Note 9 is capable of. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the rest of our Note 9 coverage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Put it on the table for me.